What is Old High Frankish? Let's find out. Old High Frankish is a group of West Germanic dialects that are Frankish that date from the 8th to 11th century. Now, this term Old High Frankish, I did not invent this term. This is a quite archaic term to use. Normally, you would find something like Old High Franconian or just High Franconian, if you will, but the premise is still the same. It's talking about the same thing about these West Germanic dialects that are Frankish, spoken from the 8th to the 11th century in roughly like central Western Germany, what have you. So that's the main thing, and the purpose behind making this video is to make people more aware of this category of West Germanic dialects. So let us dive right in. So within Old High Frankish, we have three main dialects. We have Old Middle Frankish, that's the most northern bit, and then we have Old Rhine Frankish, which is kind of in between Middle and Old East Frankish, being the most southern of the Old High Frankish dialects. All right, so these Old High Frankish dialects, they went under what is called the second sound shift, or if you will, the high consonant shift, which makes this dialect group under a larger group called Old High German, and the high part is a geographical term meaning south. So we got a little image here. So in the big category of Old High German, under that is Old High Frankish, and under Old High Frankish are these dialects. So it's like a category within a category, etc., etc. So moving right on. Old High Frankish, this is also a distinction from Old Low Frankish, or if you will, Old North Frankish. So here we have same thing with Old High German and Old High Frankish on the right, and Old Low Frankish is where we have what that is a dialect group of Old Low West Frankish and Old Low East Frankish. And as for a map, so the dark green with the lines, that is what we're dealing with of Old High Frankish. So we see there with Middle Franconia, Middle Franconian, Rhine Franconian, and East Franconian. I mean, this map is a little dated, but this is what we're working with here. And the line part that is yellow, that's referring to the north. So Old North Frankish or Old Low Frankish would be up there. So, but for the purpose of this video, we're talking about the dark green with the line. So we got, again, with the Middle Franconian or Old Middle Frankish, Old Rhine Frankish, and Old East Frankish. Old High Frankish, this was a dialect group spoken by the Franks, again spoken around central Western Germany, or in the region what we call now Franconia, or if you will in German Franken. And thus, because of that, the dialects that are spoken in these areas where the Franks were, all the way from Köln to or Aachen, around there, then all the way down to Bamberg, and I'm pretty sure in later history in adjacent areas or what have you, that the Old Middle Frankish, Old Rhine Frankish, and Old East Frankish evolved into the later local dialects that we have today. So again, in Franconia or Franken and whatnot. So if you want to study Old High Frankish, we have here the Althochdeutsches Lesebuch zusammengestellt und mit Glossar versehen by Wilhelm Braune. This is a reader. This is great for looking at texts because what I like about Old High German readers or Lesebuchs is that they tell you what period the text is in and what dialect it's in, which is really nice to know. So there's that, as well as if you want to study, you also have this reader as well by Dr. Hans Naumann. Forgive me, not Neumann. Naumann. Forgive me. Naumann. This is also a good one. for those who are starting out, I highly recommend this primer by Joseph Wright. It's in English, and the fact that the basis of it is mostly in Old East Frankish. As an aside, out of all the Old High Frankish dialects, Old East Frankish is the one that resembles, if you will, the ancestor of present-day High German, Standard High German, if you will. I mean, so you could, in some weird way, call Old East Frankish like the Old German, if you will. But rather properly, accurately, you know, call it Old East Frankish or whatnot, because we have to respect the time period, like as it was known among them, that when these people were speaking these languages, they saw themselves as speaking Frankish, and a larger scale speaking a Deutisch or a Deutisch, what have you, meaning Germanic, so essentially, but literally means people. But anyway, I don't want to go too much into that right now. So you have this book, this primer. This is great for beginners. Highly recommend it and whatnot. So yeah. This here, an introduction to the study of Old High German. This is a wonderful dissection, investigation of the Old High German dialects in general, and has a lot on Old High Frankish, if you will. I mean, it doesn't say Old High Frankish, but it has a lot of references and a lot of things dissecting it and investigating the Frankish dialects individually. So you would have stuff on Old Rhine Frankish, stuff on Old Middle Frankish, and definitely stuff on Old East Frankish, as well as the other Old High German dialects. But learning Old High Frankish using this would be a great companion. So now we have the Altfränkische Grammatik by Johannes Franck. This is in German, obviously, and this is great for an intimate study of Old High Frankish, if you will. But then again, I mean, when using the term Old Frankish here, this could very well include stuff from Old North Frankish, if you will. But if you want to look for Old High Frankish, this would be a good thing to look into as well, if you're able to read German, that is. So yeah, so that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe if you're new. If you really like the channel, please become a patron at my Patreon page down below. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.